to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. You're here to remind me of my magnificence, to help to wake to all the wonder that I am. You long to show me all the joy I'm worthy of. You're here to remind me how much I'm truly loved.
Friends, I invite you to just become aware of your breath and maybe close your eyes or soften your gaze. As we remember who we are, reminding ourselves of the truth of who we are. Just relaxing a little more deeply. Letting the tension wash away from your shoulders and your jaw and your neck. And bringing your full attention and awareness to that infinite place in consciousness. That infinite place that is illuminated with love and life, wisdom and will. This is the order of things. This is the place of truth. This is the place where realness exists. And it is with our determination that we bring forth these qualities of spirit, these qualities of the indwelling Christ. Determination. My determination takes me far. Our determination takes us far. And so we pause to remind ourselves of who we are. The capital T truth, the capital R reality. That there is only one power and one presence. God, absolute good, unconditional love. And with determination, we can be that in the world. And so now breathe in joy, and then when you exhale, release gratitude that this is the truth. Breathe in joy and exhale gratitude. Let's do that together and just pause for a few moments in the oneness. determined to be the Christ we are called to be, we go far. We go far. When the day is going well and we pause and do this practice, it becomes a habit, and it becomes easier to pause and do this practice when the external world seems a little too much, or the internal world gets a little too messy, and we have to come back to the truth. And so we practice this so that when challenges rise, we can pause and we can breathe in joy and we can exhale gratitude, so that we can go forth and be the Christ we are called to be. And so with another inhalation of joy and an easy exhalation of gratitude, I invite you to bring your awareness back to the space and the time, the place of here and now, but bring with you your awareness that you are one with the one, that you are the presence of love, that you are the light. And so it is.
This amazing song is by Daniel Namod, and it's Swing Wide the Doors to This Heart of Mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors to this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand, about lending a hand. Oh, swing wide the door, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the there's a voice that I've heard for years. I learned to keep it inside, but now it's coming in loud and clear. I want a deeper life. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, about lending a hand, lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. And swing wide the doors to let in the light and bring in the dawn for humankind. And swing wide the doors to this heart of mine.
It's one of the first songs I ever sang in church. But not by myself. We had a quartet. She getting bossy today. I know. Susie's over there going, today. It's a pot calling the kettle black, right? Happy Sunday, friends. Waking up. Waking up. Huh. Look at that. Waking up. Y'all ever been awakened by a rooster? Yeah. So there's an awakening from a spiritual perspective. Awakening is not a one-time experience. It's a daily practice because we fall asleep easily to the truth of who we are. And waking up again and again and again has to be on purpose. On purpose. Now, pick this image on purpose because when you first look at it, you see the rooster, right? That rooster's crowing. That rooster is crowing and trying to remind us to wake up. But in the background, you can barely see the fence. The rooster's a wake-up call. The rooster symbolically represents awakening, vigilance, and the triumph of light over darkness. It's a herald for new beginnings, for a new dawn. It represents courage and confidence and spiritual protection. It symbolizes watchfulness and repentance. Right? Repentance, not from that traditional meaning, but to repent is to turn and see anew, to awaken to the truth. An offense is bondage. What kind of bondage are we in? What fences do we have up in our lives? Swing wide the doors to this heart of mine. What kind of blockage do we have that we are, putting our belief in fear or denial or habits that are, maybe don't serve our best and highest good? Maybe some numbness. Maybe some inherited stories that keep us from remembering who we really are. You have any of those stories that you go back to on occasionally, every other hour or so, to diminish the belief in who you really are? And here's what I know from a spiritual perspective is when we expand enough in consciousness and we awaken to the truth that there is only one and that we are one with the one, and that our ego has dissolved, that has gone away, that we have released that limitation, that that when that is true, in that spiritual expansiveness of oneness, God is absolute good, unconditional love. There is no opposing force at that level of consciousness. There is no evil that exists. But here in the manifest, if we have not dissolved our ego, if we are still living from limitation and believing in duality, then here maybe evil exists. But people are not evil. The truth of who each and every one of us is not evil. Because if we can believe that someone else is evil, that means we have some shadow work to do, because that means that there's some evilness living in our ego someplace, and we get to work that out with the Christ of our being. But the truth is that people are not evil. Most people are just asleep. They have not awakened to the truth that they are an individualized expression of the one mind of God, absolute good and unconditional love. And so it can be easy then to excuse the evilness that shows up in the world because people are asleep. But here's the thing. This is that where the rubber meets the road kind of thing, is we have to realize that sleep is not neutral when the world is on fire. Sleep is not neutral when the world is on fire. So we've been working through this book by Robert Brummett, Birthing a New Reality. You know, we are all in this birthing process, midwifing a new experience of reality, and we live in this dream of separation, right? Because our ego wants us to believe in the separation. Right? We're agreed on that. We've talked about that some in the past. And so there's this dream of separation, but see, to consciously evolve, we have to participate. Right? This is where unity principles meet this teaching head on, because if we are going to evolve and do it consciously, we have to participate. This cannot be passive belief. We have to wake up and step into the truth. And if we don't keep waking ourselves up, if we don't make a conscious effort to stay awake, right, then we repeatedly return to sleep. We return to unconscious patterns. Right? And so we have to learn and do a practice of awareness. We have to practice the truth of being awake. Being awake as a spiritual practice. You know, what does that look like? That is seeing what's true in me. That's you seeing what's true in you. Being aware of what is true in you and noticing then with clarity what's happening around us in this manifest world. Notice it, not ignore it, not excuse it because someone's asleep, but to notice what's happening. Because if it's what's happening out there really bugs us, that means there's something in here that we get to deal with, right? And then most importantly, it is about choosing love. Choosing capital T, truth. And it's about choosing responsibility, even though that's not always easy. And here's what has come to me. If our spirituality mostly helps us feel better, but it doesn't make us become braver and kinder and more thoughtful, then it is an anesthesia. And anesthesia puts us to sleep. So if what you are learning and practicing in your spiritual practices is not making you become braver and kinder and more willing and more courageous to stand in truth, then you're really just trying to go back to sleep. In our scriptures, all four of our gospels share a sentiment because Jesus has been turned over, right? And Jesus is talking with Peter, in Luke, he says it this way. Jesus answered, "I tell you, Peter, before the rooster crows today, you will deny me 3 times. You will deny 3 times that you know me." And in John, it said this way, Jesus answered, "Will you really lay down your life for me? Verily, truly, I tell you, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." Deny and disown. But I want to focus right quick on the 3, because 3, there is the law of 3 in the universe, the law of 3, and its basic foundational principles are these: that in every new arising there are 3 forces involved. There is affirming and denying and reconciling, and the interweaving of these 3 produces a 4th new dimension. Affirming, denying, and reconciling are not fixed points or permanent essence attributes, but can and do shift and must be discerned situationally. And solutions to impasse or sticking points generally come by learning how to spot and mediate third force, which is present in every situation but generally hidden. A seed hits the ground and it does nothing until a third force, because you have the seed and you have the ground, but nothing happens until you have a third force show up, and you need sunlight and you need water. And then new growth happens, new birthing occurs, new life happens. 3. And I believe that our third force is the Holy Spirit. I think that the Christ represents an awakened identity within us that is calling us. In this story, Peter represents the part of us that sincerely loves truth, capital T, truth, but defaults to self-protection. Denial is not villainy. It is our unconsciousness under pressure. And the rooster is mercy, not condemnation. It is our wake-up call. We together, both you and I, are going to deny our highest knowing more than once. We will deny the truth of who we are because we are unconsciously under pressure. And the question for each one of us is, are we going to wake up and stand in the truth? Are we going to be courageous? Or are we going to go back to sleep? So sometimes we can bypass, the waking up. We can bypass seeing what's true in us. We can bypass naming what is happening around us, because have you ever put on blinders because you just don't want to see what's really going on? Right? I must put on blinders occasionally because I look out into the world today and I see a bunch of people that are putting on blinders. All right? Hundreds, if not thousands, of men are showing up in the Epstein files. And there is one woman in jail. Make that make sense for me. Because people have on blinders. And so I must have blinders in me. And I have to find those blinders and clear them up. And so what ways that we bypass this of not seeing what's true in us and not noticing what's happening around us is have you ever used an affirmation to avoid your grief or to avoid your anger or to avoid accountability? I think in truth, we all probably have done that at least occasionally. I used to have this saying where I'd go, it's all good. I would say that to Sean Moninger, my mentor in the field ministry program. It's all good. And he would go, stop it. No, it's not. It's not all good. Here in the relative manifest world, it's not all good. Out here at the level of God, it's good. But I still have these filters and these lenses and and I'm like, oh, it's all good. No, it's not. Stop putting on blinders and see the truth. And sometimes we call pain an illusion. We call pain an illusion so that we don't have to show up for what's real. You ever done that? I've done that. Right? We can also equate peace with disengagement. Because I choose not to engage in that, I can be at peace. Well, if we're all one, there is no peace until we're all at peace. No one is free until we are all free. And all of us, any of us, across this entire beautiful planet of ours that we get to caretake, if we use metaphysics to avoid our human suffering, we are not awake. We are sedated. And I'm not going to judge that because I'll tell you what, sometimes I like being asleep. Now, this is where I'm trying to weave this in, and it's a little bit challenging for me, but it feels like it's important because we have a wake-up call in our history, really as a species, but definitely as of our history in the United States. It's February, and it's Black History Month. And Black history in North America is not a side story. Right? And we celebrate Black history currently, nationally, though it's, under attack. It's really a mirror that we can hold up to examine the soul of this nation. And looking at the history of this country through the lens of Black history, it reveals what happens when a society builds systems that treat some lives as less valuable. And I think this is an important conversation to have now. I think this is an important truth that we have to be aware of in us. Because let's be clear, I'll just talk for myself and I'll let you evaluate if this might be true for you. But I grew up in the southern part of the United States of America. And I did not know that my father had two sisters until I was 11 years old. Because his grandmother had written both of his sisters a letter and said, I love you and you can come home anytime you want to, and I would love to see you, but don't bring your family. Because both of his sisters had adopted children that were not white. And when, if you grow up at the beach, you think that all of the soil has sand in it, no matter where you go, because you're so used to it. And so that means that racism lives in me. And I have to find it, and I have to root it out. Just like those thorny weeds that grow up in the garden everywhere around here. Have you ever, we even have them that show up out here in the flower beds at the church. They have thorns on them, and if you're not careful, when you reach in to pull these things out, you will rip your hand open. And these things exist for us to reach in and pull out. I've been thinking it's becoming. When I made the decision, okay, we are going to read the daily word in multiple languages, I had more than enough people sitting in the congregation that spoke multiple languages that it was going to be easy to do on a weekly basis. But people have moved away. And I'm like, this is challenging now, but it's necessary now. And I see in the span of time how it has touched multiple things that make it important for that to be a part of our culture. Because I've got friends that are going to turn the channel today during the Super Bowl halftime show because they don't want to hear a show done in Spanish by an American. Racism is a system that was constructed as a system that advantages white people. And I have friends and family members that will be quick to fight and argue the point that I haven't had an advantaged life. No, maybe you haven't had an advantaged life, but one of the disadvantages you've faced is not the color of your skin. So this is one of the places where we are invited to show up. Any place that is showing up in us where we think it's okay to dehumanize someone else for whatever reason based on the color of their skin, which is one that's coming up again in our society over and over and over again. It's happening in Minneapolis because there are people of color that are coming under attack because they're not stopping people that look like me and asking for my papers. They're not. And then when someone that looks like me gets in the way and tries to help somebody up that got knocked to the ground, they get killed. And so we cannot in consciousness believe that it's okay for anyone to be treated in a dehumanized fashion unless we believe in consciousness it's okay for us to be treated that way because we are one. We are one. It's showing up. There was a meme shared on Truth Social this past week that has since been taken down that depicted the former president and first lady, Barack and Michelle Obama, as apes. That is not okay. That is not about the Lion King. That is a historically relevant on purpose thing to do that dehumanizes people of color. And if you think that it's okay to dehumanize anyone, you think it's okay for you to be dehumanized. And so I want everybody to know that when we honor things like Black History Month, or Women's History Month, or Latino Culture Month, or Gay Pride, that it is not for the people who are of color, or of Latin descent, or for women, or for gay people. It is for everyone else to see the oneness. It is for you to hold up a mirror and see, how have I dehumanized? Because it's not on purpose. It's the ocean we live in. Here at the place of duality, the place of manifestation. There is duality here, and we have to wake up and know the truth expanded beyond that separation. And it gets easy to look at. It gets easy for me to look at and say, the people that posted that meme and the people that are, doing a different concert this afternoon during the Super Bowl, right? It's easy for me to project evil outward at them so I don't have to face my own complicity, my own apathy, my own numbness, my own addiction to comfort of being asleep. And so most importantly, waking up includes us asking, where am I benefiting from what I claim to oppose? Where am I benefiting from what I claim to oppose? And I pondered, and I tried to root out, I'm not trying to be partisan. That's the way the world is showing up right now. I am talking about spiritual maturity. And I see plenty of people on both sides of the political spectrum who are asleep. And so this is not about blaming anyone, any party, any individuals. This is about us becoming the presence of love that tells the truth and changes what we can. We have to be the presence of love. We have to tell the truth, and we have to change what we can. And so I'm going to conclude with, just a couple of practices, because I know this. Anybody feeling burned out these days? A little bit burned out? Here are some practical tools. A 2-minute return. I know some people are like, I don't have the time to sit down and meditate for 4 hours. Okay, we all have time for what we believe is valuable. But I think that if you're willing to just stop for 2 minutes, set your phone, for 4 times a day, 2 minutes, or set it hourly for 2 minutes. 2 minutes out of 60, you could do that. And all you have to do is stop and breathe and soften your jaw and soften your shoulders, and then just ask yourself, what is true right now? What is true right now? And what is my next loving step? What is my next loving step? Those of you that might be feeling overwhelmed or feeling outrage. Anybody been outraged lately? Just me? No. Outrage. Okay. I don't think this will surprise you, but outrage burns fuel fast. Burns fuel fast. So convert your outrage into a concrete assignment. Learn one thing. Make one phone call. Donate 1 hour or donate $1. Give yourself an action, right? Repair one relationship. Interrupt one harmful comment. That's a good one to partner with Learn One Thing, so that when you interrupt the hateful comment, the harmful comment, you can present, hopefully in a loving way, something that might encourage someone else to repent and see something anew. Love either becomes specific or it becomes performative. It's either specific or it's just performative. And finally, we're gonna learn from our rooster, and we're gonna check our fence. When we feel trapped, where is the fence here? What belief, what fear, what story is keeping me from acting in alignment with the individualized expression of the one that I truly am? What's keeping me from showing up as love in action? And then choose one small act of freedom. One small act of freedom. I see, this is just a practice of awakening and staying awake. Brummett says in his book, eventually we mature to the point where our greatest desire is to be a truly good person and to help others. This is a noble life indeed, but eventually even this fails to satisfy our hungry souls. At last we experience the deepest desire of humanity: liberation. What we all really want is to experience and to express our true nature. Our true nature consists of being pure, infinite awareness, and pure bliss. Peace is not denial. Gratitude is not complacency. They are inner conditions that keep love from becoming reaction. So let's do one of those abbreviated 2-minute pauses right now, and I want to invite you to breathe in slowly and say inwardly, I am here. I am here. And when you breathe out slowly, with that inner voice, say, I am held. I am here. I am held. Now in your mind, name one thing that you are grateful for that is true right now. And then ask yourself, what is one loving action I will take this week that aligns with who I am? And finally, I wake up again. I choose love in action. I wake up again. I choose love in action. In the stillness and in the silence, you can hear that there is a rooster crowing right now. In the history of this world, there is a rooster crowing. Waking up is not a feeling. It is a life. If you want to wake up, it can't be some abstract experience. It must be shown in your behavior. When we are awake, we are more honest. We are more responsible. We are less reactive. When we are awake, we act in ways that reduce harm and increase dignity. And just like Jesus did when he walked up to that poor woman who was being stoned, and he made everyone stop, we take action. And that is what I was expected to share today. Thanks for bearing witness, my friends. I love you.
To shake it up. May I live in authenticity. Every day I'm waking up, every day I shake it up for the highest and best of who I'm called to be. I'm rising higher, I'm loving deeper, expanding wider. I am here for God, lift spirits higher, connecting deeper, opening wider. I am here for God. God in me, God as me, God through me. I am here for God, sing with me. God in me as me, God as me through me, God through me. I am here for God. I'm here to wake up, I'm here to shake it up. May I live in authenticity. Every day I'm waking up, every day I shake it up for the highest and best of who I'm called to be. I'm rising higher, I'm loving deeper, expanding wider. I am here for God, lift spirits higher, connecting deeper, opening wider. I am here for God. We're gonna sing God in me, as me, through me. God in me, as me, God as me, through me, God through me. I am here for God again. God in me, as me, God as me, through me, God through me. I am here for God again. God in me, as me, God as me, through me, God through me. I am here for God. One more time now. God in me, as me, God as me, through me, God through me. I am here for God.